goes the dynamite. You tuned in to the free-range human show of choice, your daily dose of reality radio. It starts right now. This is the Clay Edwards Show. It's episode 996 as we count down to the 1,000th episode. Here live on 103.9 FM, streaming in the Men's Health and Women's Wellness of Mississippi studios on a stormy Monday, Mississippi Men's Health Monday here in June, which is Men's Mental Health Awareness Month. And you can see how important mental health awareness is. If you've been watching the news over the weekend, you see a bunch of daddyless Los Angelinos, Mexicanos, and other illegals throwing a hissy fit because they're not getting their way, which is a surefire sign there was no daddy in the house whooping that ass when they didn't get their way. That's what you get when you don't get your way in a grown man's house. Your butt whooped. Clearly that ain't been going on. That's why they hate Donald Trump so much, by the way, because he's a man's man. Drips testosterone, probably got the average man on a good day, his testosterone, if he's clicking on all cylinders, doing everything right, it's around 1,000. That's really where you want to be, as close to 1,000 as you can get. But Donald Trump's probably sitting around 10,000. It's immeasurable. They don't even have blood panels that can score it that high. And the Democrats hate that. And it took me a long time to say, why do they hate Trump so much? Like, what is it about Trump that there's this visceral hate for? And I've said this before on the show, but if you're new here, this is the most incendiary show on the radio dial in America. And it's right here in central Mississippi. As ashamed as I am of the condition that Jackson, Mississippi's currently in, it will forever be my hometown. So we say the show is based out of Jackson, Mississippi. Wherever you're listening around the world this morning, thank you. We are streaming in stunning HD at Save JXN on Facebook, X, YouTube, and, of course, Rumble. I love Rumble. I wish we had a bigger audience over there because I do not trust YouTube, Facebook. And X, I got some questions, Elon. I got some questions. Has the Adderall and amphetamines worn off? Anyway, so I figured out why these cucks. So there's all kind of words you can say on the radio that ain't on the FCC ban list, and I'm testing all of them. If you don't know what a cuck is, they're the reason that hotels have chairs in the corner. I'll let you do your own research. Sorry if you got kids in the car this morning. Kids, don't Google that. The reason why Democrats hate Donald Trump is simple. It's simple. He's a man. He represents leadership, testosterone. And most of these guys, if you think about it, they were raised without anything that resembled a father figure in the home. Anything that resembled discipline. Anything that resembled the nuclear family. Self-made entrepreneur, and not just the kind of entrepreneur that jobless people put on their social media as their job title, because entrepreneur is not a position. It's something that you are when you're a successful business person, when you create things. That's it. That's what it boiled down. They're not about meritocracy. People earning what they've had. Trump doesn't represent victimhood. He doesn't pander to victim mentality. I'm not going to pull up the videos and show them. You can find them on your own. You can go to my Facebook page, the big one, at SaveJXN. It says my name on the top, but it's the Facebook address is facebook.com/SaveJXN. That's all my social media handles for the most part. There are some that say at Clay Edwards Show also, but anyway. For this video, or you can go to UFC. Maybe you watched the UFC this weekend. I was going to order it, but I was like, it was getting late. and I knew I didn't have that much energy left in me. It would have just been a donation of $80 to the internet service provider or whoever in the UFC. So I didn't watch it, and I hate that I didn't. But with that said, Trump was sitting ringside. And the first video I saw, and this is where I was really surprised, because high testosterone females who I thought didn't like Trump apparently have much respect for Big Daddy Trump also. But in the main event, both competitors in the bantamweight, the champion and the challenger, both jumped over the cage and went and gave salute to Donald Trump and got their pictures made with him. And again, not two dudes that I would look at and say, oh yeah, that they represent the MAGA base at all. One of them I don't think is American, and the other is was it Patty? I can't remember. No, Sean O'Malley, Sugar Sean O'Malley. But it just goes to show you. But look, no doubt about it, high testosterone alpha males. There's a myth that say alphas can't roll with other alphas. That's not really true. You just got to respect that other alpha, like a true alpha, like a real alpha. And I don't really like using terms like I'm an alpha male, nothing like that. But either you are or you aren't, you know it or you don't. If anybody has to tell you they're an alpha male, they're probably not an alpha male. The Rock, when he came back to the WWE after a 7-year absence back in 2011, 2012, whatever it was, he did a skit with The Miz, and The Miz's thing is, I'm awesome, I'm awesome. And I just remember The Rock, for better or for worse, regardless of what you think of him now, I'll still never get over him acting like a low-T cuck, gushing over interviewing Kamala Harris and Joe Biden in 2020, and frankly, I will never, ever forgive him for that. I will not. Now, I can quasi-compartmentalize when he comes back to WWE and he does this final boss character. It's entertaining. You know, I can suspend my disbelief a little bit for entertainment's sake because I love wrestling, and I still love the old Rock from the Attitude Era. But when he came back, he made a great point, and it really stuck with me. As I learned so many other life lessons from wrestling, from professional wrestling. It really explains so much about me. He took the microphone and he goes, you know, one thing that The Rock absolutely positively knows is anybody who has to run around and tell everybody how awesome they are, most certainly are anything but. And that's like guys that have to run around and tell you, I'm an alpha male, I'm a Giga Chad. You don't have to, real alphas, real Giga Chads, Giga Clays, they don't have to tell you that they're Giga Clays. Well, y'all thought I was going to let Chads have all the fun? Shout out to Chad Wesley, my favorite Chad. And then, so both of the male main event guys, warriors, gladiators, badasses, both of them jumped over and showed Trump the respect that he deserves. And keep in mind, this is in New Jersey, quite the melting pot of ethnicity in this arena. And everybody's USA, USA. I mean, just all in for Trump. All in for Trump. In the midst of all that's going on. So the mainstream media is kind of showing you one thing, but the real world is another. Clay Travis said this years ago, so I want to make sure I credit this. Said Twitter and places like that are just a funhouse mirror. The internet is not real life. And we've learned that with the Twitter files and all of that. But you know, if you just got online, you would think that everybody hates Trump. And that if you hate Trump, you're an extreme fringe minority. Or if you love Trump, you're an extreme fringe minority. When in reality, it's the complete other way around. if you hate America and you hate Trump, you're in fact the extreme fringe minority. Now, when I say hate Trump, I don't mean that you coddle him and worship him, or if you don't coddle him and worship him. You know, like Mike Madison here on the radio station, he's not a Trump guy. But I don't necessarily think he's part of some insane fringe group. He just disagrees with Trump on a lot of policy stuff. And that's okay. We can disagree. But I'm talking about these people who have sheer Trump derangement syndrome. Well, it's just, he can do, if Trump walked on water, they would complain he couldn't swim. So anyway, I keep skipping over the females. The females, and I don't know who they are, that fought for the championship, whatever weight class it was. The winner, I saw for sure, jumps over, and I mean, she's ripped, son. I mean, just ripped. I would guess that she was probably a lesbian. If I had to guess, I don't know. I'm stereotyping a little bit, but, you know, stereotypes are earned, not given. And she's over there showing Trump respect. And it just melted my brain. I loved it. I love when stereotypes get busted up at the dough, to quote my boy Kim Wade. Because it bust open the mainstream media myth of what a Trump supporter is supposed to look like, what a patriot is supposed to look like, what somebody who respects the values of this country are supposed to look like. And last, and certainly, absolutely, positively, not least, what a high testosterone, high value male, or let me rephrase that, or how respected a high testosterone, high value male is, an alpha, a gigaclay, is when he's in the room. I have no problem, and I'll be the first to tell you, I know when I'm in the presence of a real alpha male, like somebody that the room knows and respects, a guy you want in your foxhole when the crap hits the fan, a leader, a true leader in their community, a guy that stands on business that you can depend on. Like when I'm in the presence of a dude like that, I ain't got no problem saying game, recognize game, and having respect for somebody like that and showing them the respect that I think they deserve. I ain't afraid to give another dude his roses, give him his flowers, whatever the saying is. I'll tell a guy, man, I respect you. You know, and I'll tell him why. No homo. Just straight up. Hey, brother, I respect what you're doing. You know, I wake up every day, I'm trying to better myself. That's how I want people to feel about me. But that's earned, not given, just like stereotypes. You don't get to just wake up and decide, I'm a gigaclay. I'm really just having fun with the gigaclay thing. I'm a gigachad, or I'm an alpha. No. You earn that. That's battle tested. You don't just get that. That comes with scars. That comes with scars. You earn that respect from people. And Donald Trump has earned that respect. He's earned it, unlike any human being that I've seen in my lifetime. Of 47, almost 48 years come August 17th. Oh, we're going to throw a party too. There's going to be a big party. Stay tuned. We got a bigger one first. We got episode 1000 this Friday. But after that, it's all sights on 8/17/25. My last, will I be 48? How old am I? Am I 47 or 48? I don't even know anymore. You know, it doesn't matter. But Trump has earned it. And the UFC folks showed it. And I loved it. And now the folks in L.A., let me see if I can channel this real quick. Channel this. Remember George Bush, and I talked about this Friday, I think. Remember George Bush standing on the rubble post 9/11, and he told all those folks, I hear you, America hears you, and soon the people that brought these buildings down are going to hear all of us. Los Angeles, you're about to hear all of us. the rooftop Koreans have been activated. We'll be right back, live in the Men's Health and Women's Wellness Studios. This is episode 996 of The Clay Edwards Show on 103.9 FM. Boom goes the dynamite. We're back, broadcasting here in the Men's Health Women's Wellness Studios on a Men's Health Monday. That's right, guys. I'm going to be live tomorrow. That's right, live tomorrow at Men's Health and Women's Wellness. And I want you guys to come in for a complimentary testosterone screening. Screening, the word was eluding me there for a second. Come and hang out, say hey. We're going to be interviewing Dr. Micah Walker, finding out all about what's going on there at Men's Health and Women's Wellness. Now, this is going to be an internet-only live stream. It will not be here on WYAB, but you can tune in to wherever you watch my live streams at and check it out. I'm pulling up I forgot exactly what time it was. Give me 1 second. Yeah, it is tomorrow from noon to 2. Noon to 2. Come hang out with your boy. And if you can't make it, go ahead and text Clay to 601-327-8550, 601-327-8550, and you are going to get scheduled for a complimentary testosterone screening. Guys, if you're suffering from fatigue, decreased muscle tone, lack of energy, low libido, brain fog, sleep disturbances, or lack of the morning wood, you, in fact, could be suffering from low testosterone. Text my name, 601. Just Clay, not the last name. Just text Clay, all caps, to 601-327-8550 and let the team at Men's Health and Women's Wellness get you checked out. And hey, look, man, it's more than just testosterone. That's the thing I push the most because it is my passion for you guys to have the rebirth that I've had in the last couple of years. And I 100% credit it. Now, I did a lot on my end, but the anchor to this whole thing has been testosterone. Everything else is just, the testosterone is the Christmas tree, and everything else is just an ornament on that Christmas tree. Well, okay, the exercise and diet plays a huge, huge role, but the testosterone motivated me to do it. Anyhow, we're going to be out there live tomorrow. Don't forget, they also got Ozempic, or the generic version, the compounded semaglutide. And everybody doesn't have it now. They still got it. And a new report has come out, and we're going to get into this later, but I just want to mention this. A new report has come out that that says that there is some evidence, guys, hear me out here, there's some evidence that these Ozempic-type medicines are having a unique side effect. It's called Ozempic penis, and it could have users lining up to try it. See, unlike Ozempic face and Ozempic butt, which nobody wants, Ozempic penis appears to be an enlargement of your penis. And not just because you lost weight. Not just because you lost weight. Now, look, we're going to talk about it. There's some legitimate news sources are covering this story, and we are, in fact, a legitimate news service, so we will be covering it as well. But just think about it. Think about it. Every guy out there, every guy, I know your ears perked up. Hey, your wife's and girlfriend's ears probably perked up too. We're going to talk about that, but in the meantime, text Clay to 601-327-8550. It's going to give you an option. You hitting them up for testosterone or weight loss. Pick which option, and they will direct you in the right place. Women, you can text that same number if you're interested in the Ozempic, or not Ozempic, but the generic version, the compounded semaglutide. All right, let's get back to it. Donald Trump versus Gavin Newsom, or Gavin Newscum, as he so aptly calls him. By the way, the Guns and Gear text line is 769-241-1944. 769-241-1944. Man, I've got so much saved here in my favorites. Let me pull it up here. Trump said, yep, here we go. Trump is now using the word insurrectionist. This is from Trump on Truth Social last night or yesterday. Says Governor Gavin Newsom and Mayor Bass should apologize to the people of Los Angeles for the absolutely horrible job that they have done. And this now includes the ongoing LA riots. These are not protesters. These are troublemakers and insurrectionists. You know what's great, too, is Trump came out over the weekend and said that they will be arresting any and everybody that they see with face masks on at these protests, that you can now consider it illegal to wear face mask at these protests. Oh, I love it. I love it. And, you know, of course, Democrats, racisms, COVID. No, punk. The mask coming off. You don't get to continue to wear a face mask. We've been saying this forever. If I'm in a business and somebody walks in, especially that represents hashtag the culture, with a face mask on, I'm getting out. I ain't waiting to become a statistic. And that's exactly why I stay strapped down 24/7 now. Not necessarily because I'm worried about people not liking me because I'm me. I got a way higher probability of just being caught up in some Jacktown BS, some hashtag for the culture BS, culture rot, BS, than I do getting shot because people disagree with things I say online or the death threats that I get or any of that. I mean, yeah, that sucks. And, you know, I'm weather aware, you know, so to say. But I'm way more concerned with the culture dripping off into my community. And I say that to say, ain't no reason for a grown-ass man to still be wearing a face mask unless you're trying to rob something or somebody. Why are you hiding your face? If I walked up in a predominantly black church wearing a face mask, you think they'd feel uncomfortable? You think they'd feel a little uncomfortable? I think so. But flip that energy the other direction. I'm uncomfortable. So Trump comes out and puts a face mask ban up, and some wanker gets on my social media, because of course, you know, I have my thoughts on it. What'd you say about January 6th? What'd you think about January 6th? Well, look, now if we're just going to talk about face masks, I thought they were a horrible idea on January 6th too. I had that same energy. If you're somewhere to break the law and you're wearing a face mask, or if I see you somewhere with a face mask on, I think you're there to break the law. But the rules of engagement had been laid out by January 6th by Antifa and BLM. You wear a face mask and you don't go to jail. I mean, look, January 6th was the perfect melting pot of a lot of things that rolled up into one situation. And still to this day, I 100% support the chaos and anarchy that unfolded in Washington, D.C. that day. I don't care if it was the Fedsurrection. I don't care if that was Antifa pretending to be MAGA. I don't care. I 100% supported the people that were there to overthrow this government and protect America from the hell that the Joe Biden administration had planned on raining down on us for the next 4 to 8 years, which they absolutely did. And that's absolutely why the crap that's going on in Los Angeles right now is going on. It's because we were unsuccessful on January 6th from stopping the coup that overtook this country from a stolen election. I didn't care what casualties had happened. We could build statues and name schools after them later on down the road. Had we been successful, I have no sympathy for a single elected official that was in that building that day. The only person I have any sympathy for that day is Ashley Babbitt and her family, as she was gunned down by a crazed Capitol policeman. A racist, crazed Capitol policeman. So, getting a little off track there, but that's the only protest that I've supported in a while. The guy's like, do you have that same energy on January 6th? Don't you love it when the Democrats and the left-wing terrorists, they lay out the rules of engagement, the rules for battle, and then when you use their rules, they get all mad? But I mean, none of y'all went to jail for BLM riots, for Antifa riots, for the Chaz and all that. Not a single person went to jail on any charges related to the attempt to overthrow the government. But you let some patriots peacefully gather and protest in Washington, D.C. on January 6th. Oh, and it's suddenly an insurrection. It was a mostly peaceful insurrection. And it may be the first insurrection in history where nobody brought a gun. There was a firebomb, but we all know that that was Democrats. Democrats had those, not firebomb, pipe bombs. We're going to find out who it was. Real quick before we take this next break. I got on here, I got a lot to unpack with this LA stuff. We got a big second hour planned, several other topics if I decide to move off this one. Now, I got on here, I think it was Friday, and I said something to the extent of, I wish Kash Patel would shut up doing these interviews. And I don't back off that necessarily. These little 2-minute, 3-minute interviews on these liberal news networks. And he got on there and kind of puked out of the mouth that Epstein didn't kill himself. That we got the video, maybe it was Dan Bongino, whatever, whichever one of them. I'm talking to both of them. Until you're ready to show us the evidence, until you're ready to show us the money, so to say, I don't want to hear about it anymore. I don't want to hear about Pam Bondi and her empty folders full of crap she gave YouTube creators, influencers, about the Epstein stuff. All of it was BS. And it's been one of the biggest ball drops of the Trump administration so far is this whole Epstein nonsense. Let's either move on from it, like everybody seems to want to do in Washington, or let's put it all out there. It's like they're trying to be halfway pregnant. You can't be halfway pregnant. My point was, I'm tired of hearing about it. Do some stuff. Well, I guess Kash Patel got tired of hearing people like me, because God knows I know he didn't hear me. I'm a Giga Clay, but I ain't quite reached that Giga Clay status. I don't think Kash Patel knows who I am, but hey, if you do, Kash, big fan of your work. He decides to go on Joe Rogan and do a long form and flesh all this out and explain a lot of stuff. Now, Salty Cracker, who I admire and look up to a lot and really value his opinion on a lot of stuff. I know, crazy name, but really good streamer, really smart dude. He still don't like it, thinks it made it worse for him. I don't agree. And that goes back to being able to disagree with somebody 1% of the time and still like them and consider yourself a follower of theirs. Because, well, you know what, I agree 99% of the time. We're good. I'll let you slide on this 1%. Anyhow, I thought that Kash Patel did a phenomenal job on Rogan. And it's right at 2 hours. It's an easy listen. And I told Sean, I texted Sean and I was like, because we had just had a long conversation about why would they lie about Epstein killing himself? I don't feel like getting into it right now, but long story short, he addressed exactly what we said and said the exact same thing that we had said in there. Like there's no upside to them lying about it based on all their previous statements. I mean, look, I know you could always just say they were told they had to lie. You don't understand, Clay. It's the deep state. I know. Trust me, I know. But anyway, I really respected Patel. I thought that was the best interview I'd ever heard, or conversation, podcast, whatever you want to call it, of somebody in that position or as high ranking of a position in government. I thought he told us a whole lot of what I guess it felt like top secret information. Like, if you're conspiratorial, if you think that the government's out to get you, if you think the FBI hates you and the government hates you, and that it's rules for thee but not for me, he confirmed a lot of that. Talking about secret rooms that he found that James Comey and them had that kept secret files and computer chips and all this stuff that was off the record that nobody else knew about, and they're going through all of it now. I mean, just lots of really interesting stuff. So if you get a chance, go check out Joe Rogan, his most recent episode with Kash Patel. I guess it came out Friday. We got to take a break. We'll be right back. The Mazda Jackson phone line, we will open the phone lines if you guys got any thoughts on all this, what's going on over in Los Angeles, or anything else over the weekend. 601-879-0002 is the Mazda Jackson phone line. The Guns and Gear text line is 769-241-1944. We'll be right back after this break. Breaking rules when necessary. Welcome back in to the Clay Edwards Show. We got about 3 or 4 minutes here before our next break because I ran over big time that last one, making up for running my mouth. But hey, real quick, Lakeland Glass and Tint for your home, car, and business window tinting needs. Check them out online today, lakelandglassandtint.com, for a free quote. They also do ceramic coating and vehicle wraps. Look, man, so we got the 1,000th episode coming up this Friday. And a special person sent over their congratulatory message to me. I thought it was really cool. I sent out a request for people. I said, hey, if you want to, haters, if you want me to make you famous, I mean, just ask Saul Goodman, our Facebook stalker. We made her famous. But if you want me to make you famous, send me a video. If you can piece together 30 seconds that remotely makes sense and you can do it without cussing or say anything vulgar, we'll play it. We'll also put it on social media. And all joking aside, if anybody does want to send their congratulatory messages or hate or anything else over to me to get played during the 1,000th episode and in the promos leading up to it, email me, clay@wyab.com, clay@wyab.com. I have gotten a few from folks already. We're going to edit them and get them posted, so I do appreciate everybody. Miss Sylvia, Dan White, Shad White. That's right. State Auditor was the first one to actually get one in, so we appreciate Shad. We've got it posted on social media. But a very special individual sent one over late last night in the midst of everything going on in Los Angeles. The president, Donald J. Trump, is apparently a Clay Edwards Show fan. We got a message here directly from the Oval Office.
Please stand by for a very important message from the President of the United States, Donald J. Trump.
It's the greatest president of all time, Donald Trump here, just wanting to say congrats on 1,000 episodes of the most incendiary radio show in America, the show that made FAFO, culture and breaking rules when necessary into household phrases, the show that turned Mississippi politics on its head and single-handedly saved Jackson, the Clay Edwards Show on 103.9 WYAB. How the hell you're still standing and managed to get to episode 1,000 without being canceled is, quite frankly, huge. Very, very huge. And nearly as huge of an accomplishment as me beating Crooked Hillary and Crazy Kamala to become your 45th and 47th president of these United States of America. Thank you for all you do to keep America great. And here's to another 1,000 episodes of the Clay Edwards Show.
How about that? How about that? We got a fan up there in the Oval Office. He recognizes it. Game recognized game. I told y'all earlier. I told you earlier in the show. From one alpha male to another alpha male. From one giga Trump to one giga Clay. Game recognized game. We'll be right back on the Clay Edwards Show on WYAB, the most incendiary show in all of these United States of America, at least on the FM dial. Boom. How y'all like those new little intros there, man? My boy Moose, all the way up in Detroit, Michigan. He did the intro for me. He used to be here in Jackson. I got him to edit those up for me so I don't have to say it every time myself, or in case I forget about the Men's Health and Women's Wellness Studios. Just got it pre-made there for us. Pre-made. Like I said, don't forget, I'll be out there broadcasting live tomorrow from noon to 2 p.m. in person, 120 Fountains Boulevard, right out there in Madison, Men's Health of Mississippi. Come out, say hey, and maybe we'll have some free stuff to give you. We definitely got free testosterone screenings to give you. We'll talk about that more anyhow. Hey, man, today for lunch, McBee's Bar and Grill. It's Monday. It's chicken spaghetti over at McBee's. So swing by and check them out. Coming up in hour 2. We don't have much time to get anything started here, so I'm not going to try to start anything. I did get a request, believe it or not, to go over my personal workout, so we may get into that if we have time. I know that's not what most of y'all tuned in for. Simone Biles and Riley Gaines have been going at it about men and women's sports, two of the greatest female athletes of our time, on completely different sides of this argument. I 100% respect Simone Biles for her athleticism, but she is mentally weak. Mentally weak. Remember, she set out either the Olympics or a qualifier for her mental health or something. Didn't she just sit out a whole summer games or something like that, or winter games? I forget which one it was. She was having a mental health break. Yeah, so she thinks that now that she's done, she thinks it's A-okay for men to play in women's sports. You know, she's married to an NFL player. I wonder if she'd feel that same way if he decided he wanted to go be a gymnast or, God forbid, a quasi-full contact sport. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk more about L.A. Apparently somebody decided to drop off a whole pallet of cinder blocks right in front of the ICE facility. It's summer of 2020 all over again. Oh, man, we got that and so much more. How about the lead singer of DC Talk, or whatever the other name, the black dude, the singer of the Christian bands, being accused of sexually assaulting and drugging men? Oh, it's always the Christian singers, always the people who monetize their Christianity, isn't it? Also, John Horn's putting his transition team together. We're going to talk about that and more. We'll be right back. Second. Let's chit-chat for a second. I think I want to play my video again. Y'all want to hear my Donald Trump message again? I do. I think we all want to hear that one more time, don't we? We don't have to hear the we don't have to hear the intro music, do we? I don't think so. But I think we can definitely hear Big Daddy Trump tell me how great I am. There's nothing better than the president telling you you're great. From Giga Trump to Giga Clay.
Greatest president of all time, Donald Trump here, just wanting to say congrats on 1,000 episodes of the most incendiary radio show in America, the show that made FAFO, culture rot, and breaking rules when necessary into household phrases. The show that turned Mississippi politics on its head and single-handedly saved Jackson, The Clay Edwards Show, on 103.9 WYAB. How the hell you're still standing and managed to get to episode 1,000 without being canceled is, quite frankly, huge. Very, very huge. And nearly as huge of an accomplishment as me beating Crooked Hillary and Crazy Kamala to become your 45th and 47th president of these United States of America. Thank you for all you do to keep America great, and here's to another 1,000 episodes of The Clay Edwards Show.
All right, that's awesome. I'm going to let y'all go to the break now. We'll be right back here in 7 minutes on WYAB.
To the software to make chips, because in the future it will...
Added Talk Radio.
Boom, 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 shakalaka, boom. We boom goes the dynamite already. Boom, shakalaka, boom. You've tuned in to the Free Range Human Show of Choice. The Free Range Human Show. I already said that. I'm stepping all over myself today. The Free Range Human Show of Choice. Your daily dose of reality radio. This is the Clay Edwards Show. I'll get it right, man. I'll get it right. It happens to the best of us. 996 times. You think I would have got it right by now? But I've got a guest sitting here in the studio with me. I'm going to introduce y'all to Mr. Andrew Gasser real shortly. If you aren't already familiar with him, you're about to be. Hey, I was going to tell you all about, here it is, Parade of Homes this weekend. It was already this past weekend, but it's 2 weeks, Parade of Homes. Hey, you're looking to buy, build, or just get inspired? It's time for Parade of Homes, presented by the Home Builders Association of Jackson. Join us June 7th and 8th. That was this past weekend, and this upcoming weekend, June 14th and 15th, for a free tour of, Andrew, 54 brand new homes built across 23 different neighborhoods right here in the Tri-County area. So whether you're shopping for a dream home, for your dream home, planning to build, or thinking about a remodel, this is your chance to see the latest and greatest in home design and innovation. I love just going to getting inspired. Let me cut your mic on. I'm sorry. I just love going to getting inspired and seeing things and whatnot, whether I plan on utilizing them or not. But, I'm a big believer in that book, The Secret.
Oh, yeah.
And kind of willing things into existence and whatnot. So this type deal right here, that would be right up my alley.
That's 24 homes. That's a lot of ideas right
53
there.
homes.
Or 53 homes. That's a lot of
24 neighborhoods.
There you
23
go.
neighborhoods, I'm sorry. So, but look, that's you can start online. It's a great thing, and kind of narrow it down to which homes you want to see, because frankly, that's a whole lot of bouncing around to 54 homes in 23 different neighborhoods. And look, that website is plain and simple. It's Parade of Homes Jackson, fully spelled Jackson. paradeofhomesjackson.com. Admission is free and all these. And look, these are homes that aren't going to just be open to regular open houses once the Parade of Homes is over. So this is your one and only chance to be able to just kind of get in without having to go do it with a realtor and all of that stuff. So take advantage of it. It's brought to you by Atmos Energy and a WYB. Proud to be a part of the Parade of Homes 2025 Summer Edition. We look forward to doing more of these with them as we go forward. All right, so if you're watching on the live stream at SaveJXN on Facebook, X, YouTube, and Rumble, we got a couple hundred people in there already on a stormy Monday morning. Man, I'll take that at 7 a.m. in the morning. It's hard to get 200 people to do anything.
The farm was wet this morning, man. It was
is
bad down there, but it's better now, so that's good.
Well, look, we got Andrew Gasser here in the studio. Am I saying your name? Is it Gasser or Gassar?
It's Gosser. But
Gosser. Neither one was right. Gosser.
I've been in the military for so long. I answer to a lot of different names. It's all good.
Well, so really the A pronounces like an O.
Correct.
All right, easy. Got it. We spell things and pronounce things all weird down here in the South anyhow. So you're from so for people that don't know, Andrew has replaced in the time slot. Nobody can really replace Jameson Haygood, but he has inherited the Jameson Haygood time slot and show, and he was a fill-in for Jameson occasionally. I feel like Jameson discovered Andrew.
He did.
And we're really, really happy that he did. And I know Jameson's actually listening this morning. He texted me a second ago, so shout out to Jameson Haygood. We miss you, brother, and I wish you nothing but success. But deep down, I don't wish for your failure, but I wish for your reappearance here at WYAB and sometime in the future. Not in Andrew's slot, but in another one that I'm sure we can make available for you if you ever want to come back. But anyway, I digress. Andrew is our new 10 to noon host daily. He went last week, was his first full week doing this. Was it last week?
Yep.
Yeah, last week was his first full week doing it. Off to a blazing start. He's just built for this, and he's got so much experience from the military to politics and everything in between. We won't get into all the details of that, but I just want to introduce y'all to Andrew. If you've gotten in the habit of changing the dial after my show, don't. Because I know that 9 to 10 a.m. hour is a little wonky. It's a little all over the place. It's not the most consistent hour that we have here, but there is great stuff in that hour like today. The third hour of this show will be heavy hitters. I got my brother-in-law to be and his brother, Grant and Mason Gray, here in the studio. They own Mattress Firm and Dean Oblin's Furniture, and they're heavily involved in real estate and whatnot. So we're going to talk about them. They're true entrepreneurs, what it's like to step into and kind of inherit the family business and keep that tradition alive, and the pressure. You know, it's different kinds of pressure, Andrew. There's the pressure of starting a business from scratch. Then there's the pressure of maintaining a machine and not falling on your face. And people think, oh, you know, born on third base. Well, there may be some truths to that, but you still got to do it, and you still got to learn, and you still got to. I can think of way more times that the guy born on third never made it home.
That's a fact.
Than vice versa. So we're going to be talking to them and how they maintain with that pressure and how they're doing. But all that aside, I got Andrew in here because I wanted to talk about the L.A. riots with Andrew's perspective on that. And Trump sending in the National Guard, the government over there trying to push it back. Now you've got Gavin Newsom. You got Gavin Newsom blaming this all on Trump.
It's crazy.
I've got his exact tweet right here, Andrew. And as I pulled this up, I see where I also saved the video of 92 when the culture thugs, the culture rot thugs, snatched Reginald Denny out of his truck and beat him half to death. Did they kill him?
I think he
lived.
lived.
Did he end up dying from his injuries? I can't remember, but
I thought he lived, but I could be wrong.
Maybe so. But either way, I got that pulled up. But here's what Gavin Newsom says. Whoever Bill Meeglin is, maybe some reporter I assume, says LAPD Chief McDonald, when asked if National Guard is needed, he said, this thing has gotten out of control. And Gavin Newsom quote tweeted this and says, let's get this straight. Local law enforcement didn't need help. 1. 2, Trump sent troops anyway to manufacture chaos and violence. 3, Trump succeeded. 4, now things are destabilized and we need to send in more law enforcement just to clean up Trump's mess. I mean, talk about gaslighting.
That is a man who does not know what the hell he's talking about. That it's America, I don't think, is ready for what is about to happen in Los Angeles with those riots. The so many instigators and people who aren't Americans, who are living in America, enjoying off of all of our rights and values that we project across our fruited plain. And they're taking advantage of it, but they're not giving back. They're not putting into the system. They're just parasites. They're just leeching off of it. And like you talked about in the last hour, activate the rooftop Koreans. It's going to come down to a point where there's so many insurrectionists there. There's so many people there who aren't supposed to be there. They outnumber the government. And you know that I'm not calling for advocating violence and would never do that, but you better be able to protect yourself because what's about to happen there, the American citizen who is just thinking that everything's hunky-dory with everything going on in California, they're not. In fact, the police, the LAPD, over the weekend called this a peaceful protest.
Oh, no, I've got it.
Yep.
I got the news people saying it too. You know, Andrew, as I sit here and I hear you talk, and I think about this. Do you realize that this stuff doesn't happen in red states, and not because of just law and order? But why do you think this does? Well, I know why, but why do you think this stuff happens? Just seems to happen in blue states.
Well, I'm coming from Illinois, so this is just my perspective. I feel that we have a much closer, tight-knit community. We value our First and Second Amendments a heck of a lot more. There's definitely a God factor, and I'm telling you, when I leave here and I go to Illinois, I feel it. And I just think we have a lot more respect for our people. Whether it doesn't matter whether you're black or white. For me, as someone moving into Mississippi, I have a lot more respect for people, and I just feel that that's reciprocated across our community.
Well, yes, I agree with all of that wholeheartedly. But I think from just a black and white standpoint, I don't mean race black and white, I just mean black and white in print. It's the gun laws.
Heck yeah, man.
The gun laws. You know, the citizens really can't defend themselves in California. They can't be strapped down quite like we can down south, and thugs know this. Thugs are willing to break the law. You know, the whole gun-free zone joke.
Yeah.
You know, criminals they're there to break the law, but they're not going to have a gun where they're not supposed to. And good God-fearing patriots and citizens who just want to do right, they're left there empty-handed and defenseless, other than being able to fight or not. But look, you can't take fists to a gunfight.
Nope. And here's the thing, too. Criminals are going to look for the soft targets always. They're going to go to the places where they know that you can't have guns. When I lived in Illinois, I had to have a FOID card, and then if I wanted to conceal carry, I'd have a concealed carry card. And that cost me like $800 or $900 by the time I gone through all that. And in Mississippi, you don't need to do all that. And it's not that we're running around here having gunfights across all of Mississippi. No, there are 2 or 3 concentrated spots like Jackson, where we
Canton, Meridian.
Yeah, you got your
Gulfport.
You got your hot spots, but if you get out of those areas, everybody's armed. And everybody's respecting everybody. My pastor used to say, every man is just a little bit more of a gentleman, and every woman is just a little bit more of a lady when you got a 357 on your hip.
Yeah, Josh just texted in on the Guns and Gear text line and says, because we throw bricks back.
Yeah, well, we throw more than bricks, man.
Throw lead.
And not only that, we actually know how to shoot. We're not just praying and spraying.
Well, there is a bit of, I've always said it here, even when the BLM stuff that summer, when all the blacks congregated downtown and did their stuff, they know there's a line you don't cross here, because they understand, just like I understand and everybody else with common sense, that they don't play here. The police, the law enforcement, the governor, they don't play when it comes to this stuff, and they will make an example out of you. And you make enough examples and people stay in line. That's why I'm a big fan of broken window policing. If you make some examples out there in LA, this will stop happening. It will, at least on this level. But they refuse to do it, and they pander to the extreme minority of criminals, just like them pandering to transgenders in prisons and all this other nonsense.
Yep. And the other thing, though, that I think we have to look at, Clay, is what's happening in California is also there is a lot of paid actors in there, that people who have been brought into this country, who've been given money, who have been set up to do craziness like this. And we've seen it on X, we've seen it on social media, where they talk about, why are you coming to America? And this guy says, you're going to soon find out.
Oh, I remember.
Yep. And, we've got those people who are running around America now. And, they're not necessarily going to be the ones out there wearing the masks, throwing the bricks. Did you see where all those mortar blocks were delivered in L.A. all around?
I'm literally pulling it up as you're talking about it, because I want to show our people watching online this very image here. People who think I'm just being spitting hyperbole here, or I like to call it being hyperbolic, but apparently I found out hyperbolic isn't a word; it's hyperbole. But either way, we got that pulled up right here via Salty Cracker on X. I love when I can use Salty Cracker as a
salty something else,
as a source here. But where did it go? Here we go. We're going to pull this up for everybody to see. Andrew, can you do another segment with me?
Yeah, man.
Because I want to hit some more of this stuff with you. If anybody wants to call in and speak to Andrew or ask Andrew any questions, we got this. Before we go to break, though, I just want to show this video. I'm starting it over here in radio audience. I'm just going to narrate this a little bit. Right out in front of the ICE facility, there's 1, 2, 3 pallets of cinder blocks, double stacked, have been dropped off in front of the ICE facility, holding facility in L.A. This is summer of 2020 all over again. Yep. And look, I remember hearing some black people had finally started waking up, just normal black folks, and started talking about, how did these pallets of bricks ended up dropped off in the middle of our neighborhoods? Knowing there's a bunch of unruly, angry, purple-haired white liberals with the Black Lives Matter shirts on their office, on their lunch break from Starbucks, coming to burn our stuff down because Black Lives Matter. Let's take a break. We'll be right back on the Clay Edwards Show with Andrew Gosser, new host, 10 to noon, right here on WYAB. So dang proud to be associated with this guy. Proud to have him here on the station. I hope y'all will tune in and listen to him after I get off the air here at 10 a.m. this morning. We'll be right back. Here live on WYAB, we got Andrew Gosser sitting across from me. Real quick, I think Andrew was handling something about a tree being down. during the break there with maybe somebody at the homestead. And that got me to thinking, we need to tell you about Tri-County Tree Services, one of our new partners here on the Clay Edwards Show, but they're not new to WYAB. They were one of Jameson's longtime sponsors, and we're glad to have them over here on the Clay Edwards Show. Russ Borland and his team. Talk about a giga Chad. Talk about an alpha male. Russ Borland checks off all those boxes. Talk about a guy you want in your foxhole when the poop hits the fan. You want a guy that fights trees for a living in your foxhole when crap hits the fan. Talk about just cornbread fed, country strong, cock strong, I think is the word they call it.
Yep.
He checks off all those boxes. Not a guy that I want using me like a punching bag, for sure. I mean, he's got tree trunks for forearms. But look, Tri-County Tree Service, sounds like I got a man crush on the guy, I promise. No homo. But just, again, respect. Went from Giga Clay to a Giga Chad. Respect.
Yep.
But 601-940-5499. 601-940-5499. That's Tri-County Tree Service. With this weather and whatnot coming through, if trees could be coming down, the ground's been very, very wet this spring, coming into the summer. Lots of trees falling. Let Russ and his team get you taken care of. If you got an old tree that's dying in the yard, don't let it fall on one of your vehicles or your house, or God forbid, you or a family member. Call Russ. Let him get it knocked out, cleaned up, hauled off. That's Tri-County Tree Service, 601-940-5499. And as always, if y'all can't remember any of these sponsors, all you got to do is text me, and I will gladly shoot you their information. Y'all know the Guns and Gear text line, 769-241-1944. Andrew, let's run through the Guns and Gear text real quick and see if we got anything. I thought I saw something a second ago that piqued my interest. Let's see here. Somebody said hyperbolic is a word, and you are using it right. Somebody tell Mac May that, please. Me and Mac bicker about that one. Josh had said because we throw bricks back. Let's see here. Unknown texter. I don't care if you're foreign or domestic. When you terrorize U.S. cities and citizens, you are not a protester. You are a terrorist, and you should be treated as one. Amen.
Yep.
Amen. Let's see here real quick if I have FBI Director Kash Patel has come out with a statement this morning, or late last night, should I say. It says, just so we're clear, the FBI needs no one's permission to enforce the Constitution. My responsibility is to the American people, not political punchlines. L.A. is under siege and marauding criminals, and we will restore law and order. I'm not asking you. I am telling you. Man, it is so nice to have our three-letter agencies earning our respect back. And he spoke of that on Rogan's podcast Friday. He said, I've only been in the seat 100 days. Give me a little time, but the biggest thing I'm trying to do is overcome the deterioration of respect that this agency has from the last decade or so. And really longer than that, but going back to Comey and the Clintons and Trump and all of that and everything that's cascaded since then.
Now we're targeting real criminals, terrorists, illegal immigrants, going after that. Before, when they were targeting conservatives, targeting political people because of what they believed. Pro-lifers. Look, I mean, I just look at it strictly from that perspective as a former politician, recovering politician. You know, if you were on the wrong side of something, it wasn't unlikely that you weren't going to be looked at looked at. And so I think it's fresh and it's really nice to see that the FBI is coming in and starting to really go after this part of the problem. I think that most people are law-abiding citizens and want to be here. If they've immigrated here, they've done so legally. It's these people who come in on a tourist visa and then overstay it by 15 years. That's the problem. These people who come in with student visas and all of a sudden they overstay it by 15 years. They get a student visa and they start bringing in all sorts of stuff that could be a real problem to our agriculture, like what happened at the University of Michigan. I'm not sure if you heard about that.
When you brought that up, I was just about to ask you if you were familiar with the or the agri-terrorism or whatever. Give people the real quick, what part of Illinois are you from?
Northwest side of Chicago, McHenry County, Illinois.
Had a texter asking. Okay, bring people up to speed real quick. The Cliff Notes version of this terrorist and his wife, right?
Yep.
That have, and now they're saying there could be some massive terroristic fallout from this.
It could, and I don't have like the nitty gritty on it, but what I've read on the 2 stories that I read on it, they were bringing in a type of mushroom that had some type of bacteria that could come out and completely eradicate the ability for certain plants to germinate and regerminate. So you're talking about...
And these were people who were here on visas, working at our universities, at University of Michigan.
PhD level. I
mean, insanity. So they got the wife's been arrested, and he's back in mainland China. I did read that, and I don't know their names. It wouldn't matter. I couldn't pronounce them right anyway. But that's what we've been letting in. We've been letting these people come in. We've been funding our own demise.
Yes.
And so it's why we got real careful about who I do business with on a national scale. There's some stuff you're just handcuffed to, and it is what it is, unfortunately, because we've allowed I'm capitalist. Anyway, there's some businesses you have to do business with, but I heard Kim Wade say it one time, because I'm done co-opting my own demise. Like paying for these people to turn around and try to kill me or stand for everything that I stand for or stand against everything I stand for. And we as a country are literally bankrolling, educating, and funding these people who want to destroy us.
With the COVID virus that came through the University of North Carolina with Dr. Fauci, you can go, I'm not like doing anything conspiracy, this is all stuff done. But what's even crazier is this guy who let this student into the University of Michigan, the top guy there, he left the University of Michigan and was trying to become the leader of the University of Florida, and they denied him last week. And they said you got to have American values. So, and this is what happens when they get to that level. I see it all the time.
We like to think that down here in the SEC that stuff ain't tolerated, but unfortunately, our higher learning institutions have a bit of their own culture rot going on.
It's breathtaking to watch it, and I just sit there and go, oh my gosh, because we're not studying the physics anymore. We're not doing the science, as Fauci would say. We're now doing what makes us feel good. And there's quantitative science, and then there's qualitative science, where one is on feelings and how it makes you feel, and the other one is the ones and zeros, the math, if you will. And I think we need to get back to the data-driven and not necessarily the feelings, because once we go down the feelings route, we're in trouble.
Oh, absolutely. Let's see here. We got another text from Josh on the Guns and Gear text line. It says, biodiversity terrorism has been going on a while. Asian carp, snakehead fish, and Burmese pythons are a few other examples. Lionfish as well.
The snakes that have been released in Florida that have completely taken over the swamps down there because they weren't a natural predator, and now they've gone from not having any predators at all because they were the alpha to now being hunted out, and it just completely flips the ecosystem on its head.
You know, Lloyd just texted on the Guns and Gear text line. It says something that I was going to bring up and I had forgotten, and so I'm glad he did, because I would like your take on this too, Andrew. Lloyd said protesters, air quotes, in L.A. are waving a flag they so support but don't want to go back to that country, and it's mind-boggling to me. And I was explaining it to my girlfriend last night. She's very apolitical, you know, like she just doesn't get in. She's a Trump supporter, but she just doesn't get into all this. She doesn't care. She's definition of a normie, and that's fine. She's a mom. She's a business owner. All that stuff. She's rooted in being very busy. Leave the politics to me. I'll give you the Cliff Notes version. But I was showing her the stuff going on in L.A. last night before she went to bed, and I was like, I got to stay up and watch a little bit of this for show prep. And I was trying to explain, like, these people here are rioting, looting, raising hell, waving another country's flag, destroying this place that they came to illegally, because we're talking about sending them back to this place they allegedly love so much that they want to turn this place into it.
Yep.
I mean, so much for assimilation. They just want to take over. I mean, it just blows my mind. To me, maybe I'm being a bit of a nationalist here. I just saw the same picture. Maybe I'm being a bit of a nationalist here, and proud nationalist, by the way. Right. Proud nationalist.
Nothing wrong.
Is that a bad word?
Nope.
It's like saying I'm a Christian.
Yep.
I'm a Christian. I'm a nationalist. I'm a fathoer.
Yep.
I mean, these are all normal things. I'm about to the point where I think foreign flags should be illegal. At this point, if you want to have one in your home or something like that, so be it. But I think if you want to go to a protest with a foreign flag, that is a battle flag as far as I'm concerned. That is an act of war.
It is actually in the rules, in the laws of armed conflict. Doing that's like a war. And I just showed you that picture, the one that we saw. Mm-hmm. But that is actually, I'm not sure if that person is actually a Mexican who's waving that Mexican flag on top of that burned out cop car. But what that is somebody who is basically declaring anarchy and war inside the sovereign territory of the United States of America. And we can't have that. That needs to be handled with the swiftest and justest of action. Go in there. I'm not saying that you just lay down suppression fire and just take everybody out. That's not what I'm saying. You don't drop the 5,000-pound bunker buster when you only need a 250-pound small diameter bomb to go in there. And like Cash said, we're going to go in there and make a couple examples, and hopefully a lot of this garbage will die down quickly. I think most people will, but these paid, like that guy's got to be paid. There's just, and what's really incredible too is all these people who are claiming to be part of the press, and they're getting there all these shots inside, and they're just being funded by these NGOs and going in there to make sure that they get the right camera angle for Twitter and Blue Sky, make sure they get their shots.
Let's play this clip of Donald Trump basically driving home what you and I just said. This is outside. This is in Bedminster, New Jersey. Right outside Air Force One on the tarmac there. You spit, we hit.
What's the bar for sending Marines to
the bar is what I think it is. I mean, if we see danger to our country and to our citizens, we'll be very, very strong in terms of law and order. It's about law and order. We're going to be watching it very closely. And when they spit at people, they spit. That's their new thing. They spit, and worse, you know what they throw at them, right? And when that happens, I have a little statement. They say, they spit, we hit. And I told them, nobody's going to spit on our police officers. Nobody's going to spit on our military, which they do as a common thing. They get up to them this far away, and then they start spitting in their face. That happens, they get hit very hard.
I love it. That happens, they get hit very hard. Andrew Gosser, 10 to noon. Every day, right here on WYAB. He does stream his show to Rumble.
Yep.
Search
and X.
Search Andrew Gosser, Gasser.
That's right.
Gas.
Yep.
No brakes. All gas. All gasser. No brakes.
No brakes.
There's your new tagline right there. He'll be on after I finish my third hour today. Y'all stay tuned in. Rip the knob off. WYAB. Every day we got the best lineup. Maybe in the country.
Yep, we do.
Definitely got the best lineup of local, live, here in the studio, talent and shows of anywhere else. And I'll fight anybody that thinks otherwise.
There we go.
Physically fight you. Otherwise, if you think there's another talk radio station or other that's got a better lineup from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. than this station right here, you're just telling yourself that because you want to believe something different. If you think that, you think men can be women and women can be men. And speaking of that, when I come back, we're going to get into the Riley Gaines and Simone Biles beef and chop it up on the culture war side of things a little bit to land the plane for the day. We'll be right back on WYAB. Welcome back in to the Clay Edwards Show here on WYAB, streaming worldwide in stunning HD at Save JXN on Facebook, X, YouTube, and Rumble. This segment brought to you by our friends over at A1 Gear and Auto, located right there on 49 South, Florence, Mississippi. For all of your automotive repair needs, they got you covered. Go see Justin Nelson and the team today. I always say it. Look, Justin is going to diagnose the problem properly the first time. He's the owner. He's the one that jumps in the vehicle, runs them down the road if they're drivable, diagnoses the problem. I've done it with him multiple times. He's like, yep, it's a such and such. Like, boom, usually a bearing. Anyhow, he's going to get you an exact quote on what it's going to cost to fix it, barring any unforeseen things. And look, that happens with mechanics. Stuff happens. He's going to tell you when it's going to be ready. And you can depend on that, again, barring any unforeseen circumstances, just like death and taxes. Justin Nelson tells you 2 o'clock on Tuesday. It's going to be ready at 2 o'clock on Tuesday. I don't know why I always say 2 o'clock on Tuesday, not 3 o'clock on Wednesdays. It's just stuck in my head. So that's why I say. But vehicles are actually ready at other times and other days. It's not just 2 o'clock on Tuesday. Anyway, whether it's check engine light, AC not blowing cold, engine needs rebuilt, rear ends torn out, they got you covered. They got gear in the last name of Gear and Auto, in the name Gear and Auto. So they obviously specialize in your ring and pinion. You may not know what that does, but you'll know what it does when you need to replace it. Most of your mechanic shops around here outsource their ring and pinion work to A1 Gear and Auto. Cut the middleman out. Take it straight to Justin Nelson and the team right there on 49 South, Florence, Mississippi. You got a new Jeep, got it all jacked up, put some big tires on it. Wonder why it ain't going as fast anymore, why you can't get it to speed, why you can't get around vehicles, why you're having a hard time merging onto the interstate and getting up to speed. It's because when you upgraded those big wheels and tires, you didn't upgrade your ring and pinion. Let them take care of it for you and explain how all that works, see if it's going to void your warranty or not, and all that good jazz. A1 Gear and Auto, Florence, Mississippi. Big white building, big red sign. You'll see it on your right if you're heading south. Man, I appreciate Andrew Gosser stepping in with me. I want to do my part to help his show reach its potential, make sure everybody knows about it. Let's help get him some sponsors out there. I mean, obviously, I want everybody to sponsor the Clay Edwards Show if it's a good fit. Well, we pretty much stay sold out, but I can always make room for the right partner on this show if it's something that I agree with or something I think my folks will find useful. We need to get some on Andrew's show. If you're a business owner out there, you want to help a veteran, a wounded warrior, a patriot, a Christian, the real deal Holyfield, a man that walks it like he talks it. If you want to have him selling your message to his listeners, I highly, highly recommend it. Reach out to me, clay@wyab.com, clay@wyab.com, and we can get the wheels rolling. Andrew and I, or just Andrew or whatever, can come out, can meet you, and see what all that WYAB can do for you. Whether it's my show, his show, or anybody else's show, consider advertising with us. One thing you know you're going to get around here is your live reads on WYAB. Oh, yeah, my headphone jack was messing up a little bit there. Let's see, I said I wanted to talk about the Simone Biles and Riley Gaines stuff. We got about 4 or 5 minutes before pretty much the last break of the show. We got another hour, but it's the heavy hitter show, my entrepreneur show. I got Mason Gray and Grant Gray, owners of D. Noblin Furniture, or co-owners of D. Noblin Furniture and Mattress Firm here in Central Mississippi, in the waiting room there. But so that'll be fun from 9 to 10. They're family, so it'll be a good show. Riley Gaines and Simone Biles. Riley Gaines is the former University of Kentucky swimmer. I don't feel like I should have to tell you all this. I feel like you should know who Riley Gaines is. She lost the national championship, NCAA championship, to the girl with a penis. I don't even remember his name anymore. It doesn't matter what his name is. She lost to a he. And so she works for Outkick now and Fox, and she's making a lot of waves out there, doing a lot of big things, fighting for girls in sports, fighting to keep men out of women's sports. And Simone Biles decided to insert her 2 cents into this because, Riley's white, Simone's black, so race plays a big part in this. And of course, Simone's a Democrat. Paint me shocked. And with the Democrats, you got to get in line. You got to get in line. You can't step out of line. I'm trying to pull up my notes here. So it just never fails. That why is my stuff never where I want it? So let's see here. You know what? Screw it. I can wing this. I don't need notes for this. So Simone seems to think it's okay for men to now play in women's sports. She calls Riley gross and says she looks like a man. Really, Simone Biles says that Riley Gaines looks like a man. She literally went on an entire tirade a couple years ago and did a whole campaign about people bullying her over her physique because, she looks like a man, which I don't necessarily think so. She's thick. You know, your boy likes thick chicks, big booties, thick. I like a girl with some meat on her bones. You know, I'm not saying that tall, skinny girls ain't fine too. There's a place for everybody. My 10 may be your 2. Your 2 may be my 10. It doesn't matter. But I don't know, man. I just think that this is pretty sick that you've got one of the greatest female Olympians of all time now coming out and saying that men should be able to play women's sports. And you have Riley Gaines, who actually got screwed because a man played in her sport, in swimming, and it cost her a national title. Now, Simone never had to compete against men, but she was a part of the U.S. gymnastics team, and that sick bastard who was sexually assaulting girls and all of that. She was a big part of that. So I just find it disgusting that she would take this argument, take this stance, and it's blown up in her face big time, because what Simone Biles has found out is that Twitter, X, Facebook, social media, it ain't a real place. All those people who you think agree with you, they don't really exist. Most of them are bots, or they're not real people, or they're just far left nut jobs strung out on SSRIs. I've always loosely respected Simone Biles, at least her athletic ability and the fact that she's an American winning gold for the red, white, and blue. And I'll be honest, I don't really give two craps about the Olympics. It's really just mostly a big rainbow LGBTQ fest nowadays. But I can still respect the athleticism, and I do still have some nationalistic pride, even though most of the people that are on the Olympics don't. But it's gross that Simone Biles would do this and come out and speak out against a girl that's fighting for women's sports unlike anybody else. And I got to say this, then I'm done. I think we could end this transgender BS right now. And we could finally get all these lesbian blacks who are really the ones pushing this, and these far left white nut jobs, I'll get it right, to shut up. We need a true male, a legitimate transgender male, if we're going to play the game, in the WNBA. And I don't mean one of the fake ones. I don't mean Brittany Griner. I mean one that can go boom shakalaka and slam dunk. That would end this in one fell swoop. We'll be right back. Welcome back in as we land the plane on the big show for the day. Coming up next, it's Heavy Hitters. It's my entrepreneur show, my outlaw entrepreneur show. My guest today, it's plurals, 2 guests. It's Grant and Mason Gray, co-owners of Mattress Firm, all of the mattress firms here in Central Mississippi, as well as D. Noblin Furniture, located right out there on Airport Road. We're going to talk to them about being a second-generation owner in the family business of mattress and furniture. Should be a great one. Stay tuned. We'll be right back with a whole nother hour. Peace. All right, guys, logging off and logging back on for the other show. Can't do more than 2 hours on this, so we got to log in for the other one. Please tune back in wherever you're watching this. We'll be right back. Be blessed. Come on in.
All right.
All right, yeah. Yeah. Hey guys.
I didn't know the president was going to be joining us.
Yeah.
Life-size picture.
Yeah, somebody gave me that. And I was like,
Is this
man.
your own studio? Is this your, like, just your room?
No,
or people use
it's
this?
everybody's. But we all bring some decor to it, in some form, fashion, or another.
There you
My home studio is actually at the house. I don't use it as much as I did.
go. And this is where Kim,
Yeah, Kim sits right there. Kim has a producer. The rest of us all produce our own shows.
right, no, we're not going to do any dirty jokes or anything like that today. No. Grandma always throw you a little dirty flavor in there. We're not doing that today.